Hey everyone, welcome back to the new KryptSec episode, and in today's video we are looking at mass assignment vulnerability, a bug that let a researcher pop admin in Rails application back in 2012.
It was GitHub own public key upload form, and he slipped in one extra user ID parameter that the site never validated, and that was it.
This still shows up in modern APIs all the time, and we are breaking one in the KryptSec lab today. Quick bit of context for people who don't know that OWASP merged a mass assignment and excessive data exposure in one category. It's called broken object property level authorization. They did it because they both had the same root cause, that it wasn't validating the field value in the backend. So when an app auto-binds whatever you send in a request in the backend internal object, instead of only accepting the fields it meant to expose, you can add a property that is never meant to be exposed. For example, let's say you have a role of user and okay, roles exist in the backend. There is a field, there are properties with role admin as well, or any other role like editor, viewer, anything. So obviously for testing this vulnerability, it's always better to try roles that are of higher privileges. So in this case, you can try manipulating the role value to an admin role, and the backend will bind that role to an object, and that will cause mass assignment. Okay, so now we are logged in KryptSec. Let's go to the CDF arena. And I'm going to also start Burp Suite because we are definitely going to need that. Okay, it's starting in the background. Let's go to the archives and mass assignment privilege escalation. So this is the one we are looking at today. So the mission brief is exploit a mass assignment vulnerability in a developer project's tracking API to override your own role and escalate to admin, then retrieve the flag from the admin endpoint. Okay, so this application is a developer project tracking. So it's related to projects where people can create projects, collaborate, see their profile, multiple stuff like that. So we have some APIs and we are going to check what APIs can escalate our privileges. So we're going to be analyzing those APIs. Okay, so Burp. Wow, it's updating it. What a time. Okay, let's just activate the lab real quick. Okay, so we are in this application developer project tracking platform Nexus board. Okay, Nexus board helps engineering teams track projects, manage tasks, and collaborate across sprints. Sign in or register to access your workspace. Okay, we have also an API docs. Okay, let's open this up. This is really interesting. Okay, so we have some endpoints here, register, login, profile endpoints, project endpoints, and admin endpoint. This is very interesting. So obviously API documentation, this is REST API documentation, and it's really important. Whenever you're pen testing or you're looking for bugs, what you come across is API docs. A lot of people, they ignore API docs, which is a huge mistake. Because what happens is, let's say you are in an application and you are testing for vulnerabilities, and okay, you found all those endpoints in your Burp and you found it through a proxy, that's fine. But what happens is a lot of endpoints are not shown in Burp because the application is not actively using it, but those endpoints does exist. Either you find it through JavaScript analysis or you find it through API documentation. And that's why API documentations are so important, because they can help you find hidden endpoints. So when we looked at this API documentation, we were able to find directly, okay, there is an admin endpoint that exists, and it looks something like this: API version 1 admin config. So obviously we are going to be looking at that, but first we have to craft some requests from scratch, because crafting request is a part of hacking and it's really important. Okay, so let's see. Let me start my proxy, Burp. Okay, I'm gonna go and change my proxy port because it's on 8081, not 8080. For most of the people, it's 8080, but that's fine. Okay, so we can just turn on the intercept, and okay, we also have to log in. Let's turn off the intercept. Great. Let's go back and let's sign in. We should have credentials to sign in. Yeah, so we have user, dev user, and password. Okay, it's also written here as well. Dev pass 123. Okay, we are logged in and we should see some requests in HTTP history. And yeah, we can see that. But we have to add target, right? Because I forgot to do that. Let's add it in scope. So let's copy this URL, copy, and we're going to paste it right over here. And we're going to remove this dashboard. That, yeah, that's it. So now we should be able to see request related to this endpoint only or this URL. Okay, so let's look at the dashboard because we are interested in cookies. We need that for making authenticated requests, right? Okay, so this is our cookie. I'm going to send this to repeater over here. And what else do we have? As you can see, it also says that your API token. So we also have to add an authorization header that has a bearer token. This header is used to authenticate API requests. So we definitely need this one because we'll be making some API requests, right? So let's copy this and let's paste it right just below this. That should work. And let's copy the value as well. Because if you're going to send the request just with cookies without the authorization bearer token, then you're going to get error. That's why it's really important because the application validates both of these headers, cookie and authorization, both. Okay, let's send this request and this should work fine. But now it's time to make API requests. So let's fetch our own profile details. For that, we have API version 1 profile. So we're going to copy this path and we are going to paste it over here. Cool. So obviously this one is also get request. We're now going to change the HTTP method. We're just going to send this request. Okay, we got 200 response and we got some details like bio, display name, email, role, developer, username, and website. Cool. So as we can see, we have a field here and we have this role, a developer. Cool. So let's do something else. We have an option to list all the projects as well. Let's do that. I just want to see some information related to my account. Okay, let's paste it. 200. Okay. So we have name of the project, status, ID, and description. There are like 3 projects. Okay, so the interesting one is this one, API version 1 profile, and it's a patch method, patch HTTP method. And this API endpoint lets you update your profile. For example, your email, your bio, or description, or your website, whatever you want to update, you can do that through this endpoint. So as you can notice, the endpoint is actually same, just the HTTP method changes that happens in all the API endpoints. We can have same API endpoint, yet have different HTTP methods for different kinds of operations. For example, we could also have a delete HTTP method here with the same endpoint like this one that lets you delete your profile. So yeah, that happens all the time. What we're going to do right now is we are going to update the role. But before we update the role, let's try to update a normal field. Let's go back. Okay, I'm going to send this repeater. I want another request like this. Don't want to change much. Okay, so we have username dev user display name. Let's change the display name because I think we can try this out. I'm going to copy this whole thing. And as we know, API requests always have content type JSON, application JSON. So the request body should be in JSON and so is the response. And that's why we are getting the response in JSON, just like this. So we are going to paste that over here. inside the curly braces, just like this. And we're not done yet. We're not going to send the request because we're definitely gonna get the errors. So a really important part I'm going to do here is change the HTTP method. Now, a lot of you guys are going to make the mistake that you're gonna just type in patch. Okay, we need patch HTTP method, right? Just type in patch here and send the request. You're gonna get error. See, 415 unsupported media type, obviously, because we have an error over here. The content type is application. It's different. Let me show you. Where did it go? um, yeah, so we don't have a content type. We just have content length. And because we don't have a content type is the reason we are getting error, because the content type here is JSON. So we have to provide that header as well. But obviously this is very tedious for us to do, right? So what we're going to do, we are going to use an extension. So this is really amazing. Go to the extensions if you don't have it. Go to the B App Store and just search for content type converter, this one. Yeah. So this is the one, this extension converts data submitted within requests between various common formats, like you can change from JSON to XML or XML to JSON, body parameters. It's really amazing. Let me show you what. So let's go back to the repeater and I'm going to go to extensions, go to content type converter, and then I'm going to go to convert to JSON. So what just happened? You must be thinking, okay, we already wrote JSON. What did it convert it? Really important. As you can see, we just added content type header. Not we, the extension added content type header. And it also added content length. Content length is so important. If you're adding a wrong content length, then you are going to get an error. And that's why these two headers were added by the extension by carefully counting the content length. And obviously the correct syntax as well. So now let's send the request. And wow, we are getting 200. Okay. And we just changed. Okay, we didn't change actually. We typed the same display name. Let's change that. Okay, so I'm going to change the display name to KryptSec and send. Okay, the display name is changed. It means this request works perfectly fine. And now comes the exploitation part. We are going to check if we can change our role as well. So as we know that we also have role developer, we are going to change this to role admin. Let's do that. So we are going to copy this and we are going to paste it right over here. And we are going to type admin. Send the request. And whoa, the the spelling of the admin was wrong. Okay, let's just remove R and send again. Okay, it's admin now. That's great. Okay, so we just changed the role to admin, but we see it in the response, like just written text. We don't know if we actually have the privileges of an admin. To check that, we have to make an admin request. For making an admin request, we need an admin endpoint. So we have the admin endpoint API version 1 admin config. Let's copy it. This is where you prove the impact. Just changing something doesn't mean that something is vulnerable. You have to show an impact. And that's what we are going to do. So yeah, we can just change this request because it's get. All we have to do is change the path, send the request. And we are getting 200 OK response, means we were able to successfully perform privilege escalation. And we can also see the flag over here. We were able to exploit this because the backend was automatically assigning the user field value in the backend object, and it did that without proper validation. It should be checking if the user is allowed to make such request, and if a user doesn't have those permission, it should simply reject that request or give an error. Okay, let's terminate the lab now. So yeah, that's it about mass assignment. And it's not just about upgrading your role. It could be anything. Let's say an application have subscription tiers and you can escalate your subscription from a normal tier to a pro tire. In that case, it's also mass assignment vulnerability. So yeah, always be more creative. Think about ways you can escalate your privileges or access or manipulate fields that you're not supposed to do so. And that's mass assignment. So yeah, this was so much fun covering this bug in today's episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.